ICS3U. This video covers how to create a text-based menu, which would be very useful in a lot of different situations. You can think of a point of sale for a system for a restaurant where they have to enter things very quickly, and you can present the servers with a menu, for example, and that menu will let them select the items that the customers purchase and come up with a total very quickly. You can also use it in games. I'm just going to be selecting my source here. And so we'll create a new project in Visual Studio Code. And I'm just going to call this menu. New file, menu.py. So we want to create a menu system that uses a while loop, and that allows us, our user, to continually use the menu throughout the day, every option that they do. So first, I'm just going to start off with a bunch of print statements to make the menu that shows what we want it to look like. So main menu. This is something that we used before we had Windows. Personal computers had menus, and your computer would load up, and maybe when you purchased the computer and you purchased the software that went with the computer, whoever set it up for you would create a menu, or you could hire someone to do it, and if you knew how to do this yourself, you could create your own customized menu. So I'm just going to put some bogus things here. We're not really going to show the real weather. You could set it up to do that, but you'll see what we're going to do in a moment. It just lets us do different options. Turn on the alarm system. Sounds very sophisticated, but believe me, we're not going to be doing any of these things. It's just a menu for now. And what we want to do is we want to get the value that the user would like to do. So I'm going to store that in a variable called num for number. And so using input, we need some user input, so we have to cast it as an integer. Input, enter a number, and then -1 to, or let's say 4 to quit. No, we'll just leave it. Enter a number, and we'll actually put 4 to, we'll just do that. So now we want to say if num, and don't forget when we're doing an if statement, we want 2 equal signs. Pause this video at any time if you want to type this out on your own and test it to see that yours works also. That's always a good idea. So if number equals 1, all we're going to do is just have a print statement. Print, it is sunny today. And then we're going to say else if, ELIF. Elif num equals 2. Calculator, 2 plus 2 equals 4. And then else if num equals 3. Don't forget the colons at the end of the if and the elif statements. And remember, the elif statement can't function on its own. It has to function along with the if statement. It has to have an if statement to go along with it. And then finally, alarm is set. And that's it. So when we run our program, this is just the start of it. But when we run it, and I will drop this down so you can see, there's all the code. The output is going to be down here though. So when I run it, it shows everything, and it says enter the number. It says main menu, enter the number. I'll enter 2, and it says 2 plus 2 equals 4, and then it ends. So we want a menu that continually asks, and it keeps looping around so that we can use it all day. I'm going to make this, just because the output there, I'm going to put a bunch of stars here at the start and end of my menu. It'd be nice if it had the same number of stars, so I'm just going to copy and paste that first one to ensure that it's the same number. So now when we run it, it just looks a little bit more user-friendly, I think. You can see the stars. It still looks very old-fashioned, not very modernized, but that's the way it goes. You can extend the stars, whatever. Okay, so this is great, except we want it to loop. So in order to make it loop, we have to first put a while loop, but what do we want to repeat? Do we want just the if statement to repeat? If we just have the if statement repeating, we only type in the number once, that's not any good. We want to always be able to, every time it loops around, select a different option. Not only that, but the menu, the print statements of our main menu that we created might be off the screen. So we want to show that every time. So I'm going to go to the very top and put while. And what if we wanted it to, let's have it so that it exits if they type in 4. So we'll say while num does not equal 4. Put a colon. You can see it's tabbing in there, but I don't, all the code's already written. So what I'm going to do is you can either take your mouse or you can go down to the beginning of the first print statement, hold down the shift key, just highlight everything. Press tab. So I'm going to drop down this so you can see more code. There, you can see more code now, pretty much all of it. There's all of it. And you can see that everything's tabbed in. I want to draw your attention to the fact that line 14, 16, and 18 are tabbed in a second time, because not only are they inside the while loop, they are a part of the if, else if, and else. There's two the if and the else if statements. So they have to be tabbed in as well to show that they're in the body of those if and else if statements. So now, when we run it, we're going to get an error, and that's okay. Let's read the error and see what happens. It says value error. And it shows us, it's red highlight under num. Invalid literal for int with base 10. So basically num has not been defined. It doesn't have a value. So we have to just give it a value. If we make it 0 before the loop starts, well, the loop will still go through. 0 isn't one of the options, so it shouldn't affect it. And as soon as it goes through, we get the value from the user. So now let's try it. So it says, okay, good. So it gets in, enter a number. I'm going to enter 1, shows the weather. It says it is sunny today. But it loops back around. So I can continue to use it. Now I'll try 3. Turn on the alarm system. Shows the alarm is set, goes back to the main menu. Now notice my menu doesn't have an option for 4. We should add another print statement there, because we put the while loop. So if num is not equal to 4, it'll keep looping. That basically says if it is equal to 4, it's going to stop looping. So if I type in 4, there, it ends the program. So let's just do the user, make it user friendly. And right after the print statement for 3, I'm going to put print for exit. Option 4 is exit. Okay, I want you to notice that in our menu system, we're not asking them to type out words. Users can make spelling mistakes. What if they capitalize something? You know, it's just a lot easier if it's a single digit. And this is the way that really basic, low-tech menu systems work. That's it. This code will be posted in a supporting document, but you got to see how I work it out. And that's it for now.